Time now for the continuation of Gulliver's Travel Week, the great travel novel of the wonderful Jonathan Swift, the former dean of St. Paul's Cathedral in Ireland, just one of the great minds of the 18th century, and somebody who we don't read nearly enough today because he was perhaps the single greatest satirist in the English language. Don't forget he gave us A Modest Proposal. You may remember that, right? A savage account of why we should start eating Irish babies. Because, of course, they grow up to be worthless Irish people. And if we wanted to decrease the surplus population, what if we ate babies instead of chickens? It was wonderful. And, of course, the whole thing was satire. But it was written so deadpan that people thought he was serious, raised a firestorm in the 18th century, and taught us something about race and about ethnicity, really important. So here's what he says for today's episode of this about how what do we prioritize in the West? What do we prioritize? This is the 18th century. What do we prioritize? He says, I replied that England, the dear place of my nativity, was computed to produce 3 times the quantity of food, more than its inhabitants are able to consume. That's a good thing. But in order to feed the luxury and intemperance of England's men and the vanity of England's females, we sent away the greatest part of our necessary things to other countries, from whence in return we brought the materials of diseases, folly, and vice to spend among ourselves. So we grew 3 times as much food as we needed, and we sold it all to what? To bring back silks and gold and trinkets and all sorts of things that lead to nothing but corruption. Hence it follows of necessity that vast numbers of our people are compelled to seek their livelihood by begging, robbing, stealing, cheating, pimping, forswearing, flattering, suborning, forging, gaming, lying, fawning, hectoring, voting, scribbling, free thinking. What happened? You sold all the food to bring in delicates that only the rich people could afford, and then when the poor people had nothing to eat, they became criminals. That's the system of the West to this day, not because capitalism is bad or free markets is bad, but because the vanity of the elite classes sacrifices what everybody needs for their own particular vanities.